Hey basketball coaches, players, and fans, today I am going to be breaking down the Miami Heat's offense. Now, a lot of coaches and teams were really sleeping on the Miami Heat, and that was a huge mistake. They have four really good players that you really need to watch out for. Number one is Bam Adebayo. He's really good in the screen and roll. He's also very good around the basket, getting those offensive and defensive rebounds. Next is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is an okay three-point shooter, but his main thing is slashing to the rim. And now the great thing about that is the fact that it's able to collapse the defense so that he's able to make passes to Bam Adebayo and their three-point shooters, who are Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Now, Tyler Hero comes off the bench, and he's an absolute amazing killer player who can really slide between the defensive players and finish around the basket, but also be able to shoot the three at a very high level. Next is Duncan Robinson, who can slash to the rim, but moves extremely well off ball and can really nail that three-point shot, and is even one of the most three-point shooting players in the league. What I mean by that is he shoots more than pretty much anybody else. Let's get down and let's break down the Miami Heat's basketball offense. So in this first play, we have Tyler Hero with the ball. He's able to pass that ball into Bam Adebayo. They're running a Horns offense. And the player who was playing in the high post on this side, he is not going to be setting a screen. He originally acts like he does, and then he's going to be then popping out and continuing through while Tyler Hero cuts towards the rim. Duncan Robinson now gets that dribble handoff from Bam Adebayo, and now what happens here is a few different things. So for one, we have this player getting hung up on a very good screening Bam Adebayo, which could have led to Duncan Robinson passing that ball into Tyler Hero if his defender left him. Now, instead, this player gets screened hard, and because of that, Duncan Robinson's able to take that three-point shot. Now, the benefit to this is now if this player was paying attention any bit earlier, he would have popped up, because a lot of teams are really trying to isolate down on Duncan Robinson and take away his three-point shooting ability, which would have then left this player, what looks to be Iguodala, to cut baseline. And with that player popping out to defend Duncan Robinson, that could have been an easy pass down to Iguodala, who would have then just taken it right to the rim. But with Tyler Hero then popping out and this player moving up towards here, if Iguodala was to drive and he got a help defender coming down to block his shot or his layup or dunk, we have Bam, who would have been sliding towards the high post. We would have had Iguodala, who could have hit two three-point shooters or a mid-range shooter, but instead Duncan Robinson takes this three-point shot. So the good thing with Miami, and the amazing thing that a lot of teams don't utilize, is misdirection. So what we have here is a pass into the high post, into Bam Adebayo, and then a cut towards the rim. Now after that cut, he pops out towards this side, and we have Duncan Robinson, who comes over and fakes a dribble handoff with Bam Adebayo. Now what's basically happening here is we're having a screen down. This player could be popping up from that screen. We're having a screen away with a dribble handoff here for Tyler Hero. But instead, what Hero does, especially the fact that this defensive player is cheating, trying to go over top of that screen, this is something that you can really watch out for as a player yourself if you play basketball, is if your player, your defender, starts cheating, and what I mean by that is he starts running ahead of you to try and beat you through that screen, you can now cut back door, and that's what Tyler Hero does. And Bam's able to see that, get that pass through, and go in for basically an uncontested layup. So here we have, right now, we have a screen on this side, but Duncan Robinson comes in and sets a back screen for what looks to be Crowder cutting towards the rim. Now with that back screen, basically what we're setting up here is Crowder, he's cutting down, I think that's Crowder, I could be wrong, but we have now an isolation move, or an isolation on this side, that player who passed in is now cutting through the key. Of course, this is now collapsing the defense, especially for the screener. And why we see this or why we want to see this happen is because now we're getting the defense close towards the rim, and when in reality we have Duncan Robinson who's using that screen. That was probably set to come out here for a three-point shot over on this side, but instead he's able to move off ball quite well and see what his defender is doing. And because of that, he uses that screen, and then he pops out because that player wanted to cheat underneath the screen. And because of that, this player is able to get that skip pass over to him. And that three-point shot could have been there if that player wasn't as fast. But now they're going to be setting another dribble handoff for Duncan Robinson, which ends with another three. Now in this play here, we have Butler who's doing a dribble handoff with Bam Adebayo. From here, we have a dribble handoff, and then he changes back over towards the other side using Bam as a screen again. And basically what this has done is now with him cutting down, the first line of help defense comes down to try and cut off that drive. What happens with teams is if you have a player who can slash towards the rim consistently and finish, you're going to be able to really collapse the defense. And that's what we have here. They create a wall to stop Butler from going towards the rim, and because of this, that leaves Duncan Robinson, the best three-point shooter on the team, wide open for a three. Now the Miami Heat are a very good offensive and defensive team. The Miami Heat have a killer 2-3 zone defense. If you haven't seen that video yet, definitely go check it out. Make sure to go check out my unbeatable basketball zone defense down in the description below, especially if you're a coach. And I'll see you guys again next time.